Welcome to the season finale of Football and AI. It's been a fantastic football season. Anywhere it is that you've been watching, especially with respect to the top five leagues. Now, our focus on Football and AI is always on the Premier League, and we had the pleasure of welcoming our past winners this season to come for the ultimate chance at 250,000 naira in cash. So that's it. First and foremost, thank you for joining us. Thank you for the support all through the season. And of course, Football and AI would not be possible without the man behind the AI himself, Dr. Oluseyi Akidende. Shay, welcome to Football and AI.
Thank you. It's good to be back here for the season finale.
Thank you for the initiative. Thank you for the support.
Well, you're
What
welcome.
can I say?
You're
Thank you for everything.
Pleasure.
So we'll go
Pleasure
straight
having gone
to
through the season.
okay. We'll go straight to our contestants, the guys who have chopped our money at some point this season and are attempting to chop it even more. On my left, they say ladies first. My left, my left. Ladies first, and the only lady to have won. Yes, the only lady, the only other person that came close was Kemi Yusuf, but she drew the air. So, as Atinuke joins us, we have a few things in common. She supports Atalanta like I do, and also supports Manchester United. Yeah, so, welcome to the season finale of Football and AI.
Good afternoon. Thanks for having me.
Brilliant. And just opposite her is a man of many parts. He threw a challenge to us in our soccer group that prediction is it's not a big deal. That it's more about the hunch, and he proved us all wrong and won that day. Tokumo, welcome. We call him Tokes Jeje. Tokes, welcome to Football and Air. Okay, so if you don't know, we are coming to you live from East Kaba. It's at KOS Lagos in on Kusela Road in Ikate side of Lekki. So if you're looking for a place to relax, have a good time, chill, the best drinks, the best um, ambience and atmosphere, Iskaba is the place for you to come to. So on my right is the man who won last season. I had what I call the Goofy and Cognac League, Prediction League, and he was the one that won the league that season. He's none other than Senior, call him Dami or Dami underscore Leary. So if you're following on Twitter, it's at Dami underscore Leary. And he came again a second time, but unfortunately, the AI had the better of him. So welcome to the season finale.
It's good to be here. And it's good to be on the final show of the AI and the AI prediction.
Lovely, and of course, if you are on Twitter, if you love music, if you love hip hop, there are not many people who flood their timeline with music, especially music from the 90s. It's none other than at music kamikaze is on the right of my extreme right.
Good afternoon. Pleasure being here.
You can see that he's not that young. He has plenty gray hair.
It's actually the head dye.
But he's a good guy. All round good guy. Of course, we're also joined all the way from Abuja. The man that still holds record, the record points, number of points for this show is none other than Ubani, a good all the way from Abuja. Ubani,
Good
welcome.
afternoon. everyone. Good afternoon,
How are
everyone.
you?
Fine. Thank you for allowing me to be here.
How was exams?
Very
The
well.
young man is 19. 19, I'm correct now. Or
Huh?
16. How old are you now, Ubani?
It's
I'm getting to 17.
16.
Okay, so 17 still uh, very young, but he has his mom's permission to be here. So, in case anybody wants to attack us, that why do we have an underage guy on the show? We have his mom's permission to have him here. Ubani is a great guy. He's someone I think a lot of people should keep an eye on. He's bound for bigger and better things. So welcome, Ubani. So let's
Thank
get
you.
into it very, very quickly. Let me just sample the room and get the the thoughts of participants on what they thought about the Premier League season as a whole. What do you think? What surprised you, and what probably didn't surprise you at all? We'll start with the lady, as they say, ladies first. I'm trying to be very. I don't want any of these, gender equality people to come and harass me. So we're going to be giving the lady as much attention as possible. So, what has surprised you this season, and what hasn't surprised you?
Good afternoon, guys. Good congratulations to Manchester City on winning the Premier League. I think starting from there, I think what has surprised me has been the Diaz transformation coming from Portuguese league and able to adapt so well to the league. He has been the mainstay, not as much impact as Virgil van Dijk last season, but he has had quite an impact on Manchester City and he's going to be an integral part of that team and why they won the league this season. And I think what I'm surprised about also is Liverpool. I think at the beginning of the season, a lot of people was going to be 2 horse race, not it was just going to be 1 horse race and just one team feeling dry. I felt like I was not expecting Liverpool to be where they are. I felt like they should be higher than that, considering that it was the same thing. But when you use the same set of legs for 3 seasons, I felt it was like a tiredness was setting and everything. A lot of surprises this season, a lot of teams, a lot of players that really come out. And the same season, and I don't believe this season because the first season in a long time where last match is coming in, there's no relegation races, no, okay, start bringing out the calculator if 17th win, is going, if 18th win, 17 is going. So it's been kind of that kind of season where everybody is just, I think the only thing we just want to do is get to the Europa League, I want to get to the Conference League, but for me, it has not been that. Let me say it also. I felt like a lot of teams did step up to the plate. It was just not to just killing a lot of teams really did step up to the plate. A lot of them came towards the end of the season to try and do something, but it was rather good.
Let's come to talks. Talks. Ask you, will you say you are surprised by the way Manchester City probably reacted and eventually bounced back to them eventually win that because they had their worst start under Pep Guardiola this season, but somehow they're champions at the end of the season.
I wouldn't say I was surprised. I would say they found consistency at some time before the midway through the season. Basically, their surge up the table was more because major teams didn't find consistency at the same time. Especially Liverpool. Liverpool, actually, Klopp didn't do the right things at the right time. They kept losing games. They couldn't address the situation. I think at the end of the day, City just found a little bit of consistency at the back. They brought in Diaz. They had a pairing problem at the beginning. They paired Diaz with Laporte, and it wasn't really working well for them. Eventually, they found luck in pairing Diaz with Stones, and since then, they showed up the defense. Pep went a bit defensive. His approach this season has been, let me try and shove my defense. I think that's why he even brought in Diaz. So they found consistency.
Somehow don't. Sorry, I somehow don't agree with that notion that City are better defensively this season. And this is if you decide to go with the numbers people. This is the worst number of goals they've conceded after 2 previous title-winning seasons. So I asked myself, if we're looking at numbers, it doesn't show that they've been better defensively. So, and that's one of the reasons why I had my reservations with Ruben Diaz winning the award was given yesterday. But then I've gotten to a point where I think the football writers are probably losing their marbles.
No, I don't think so.
With respect to the
I
way
think
they
they
give
got it
it.
right, because if you look at the figures. The figures show that they considered more this season. But overall, I would say almost all teams considered more this season because of the odd factor of not having the fans in the stadium. We saw this from the beginning of the season. Even Liverpool fans, the fact that Van Dijk got an injury, and that's why they lost a lot of games. Even when Van Dijk was there, they lost 7-1 to 7-2.
7-2.
So I would say defensively, City shot up the ladder in Europe by virtue of the fact that they were able to show up their defense.
Yeah, but
And
we'll
now
also
we-
give the excuse that they've always had a fair draw. Or
There are no
no,
fair
is it
draws.
fair or an easy draw? Let me go
There are
to
no fair draws.
let's go to Doc and let me see if Doc agrees with me. Doc, what has surprised you this season and what hasn't surprised you? I'm sure Liverpool will be one of the things that have surprised you.
Yeah, absolutely. You're very right. If you look at the last couple of seasons, 2-3 seasons, you see that the major challenge for Man City, even the season where Liverpool didn't win 2 seasons ago, they gave them a run for the money. That was Vincent Kompany's last season at Man City. So the major challenge for City has been, Liverpool in the last couple 2-3 seasons, as the case may be. So we're expecting that kind of thing to this season. But I think that where Liverpool dropped the heart was, around the time when we lost the central defensive pairing, and Klopp was trying to shoehorn Henderson and Fabinho together. It just wasn't working, and we're losing games. I mean, in hindsight, we're now saying that Rice Williams and Nat Phillips could have easily done the job, and then you release Fabinho and Henderson back into midfield, and then of course playing Jota in that meaningless Champions League game where he got injured, and then we now lost, the
Yeah.
goal scoring again where we couldn't score goals, where the front three were firing blanks and there was nobody to bring off the bench. So I think at that was the period that that 6 home losses. I think that was the period that Liverpool, because coming into January, I mean, Liverpool was still very, very much in the. I mean, we're topping at Christmas or thereabout. So I think that was where we dropped the heart, and from there, I think it was an easy ride for City. The only other challenge could have been Man U, but Man U were inconsistent at home. They were consistent away, but very, very, very inconsistent at home. And that was no. I mean, you have to be consistent at home to put up a challenge against the City. Basically, to me, it's even an underwhelming victory. I mean, which is why somebody looked at Twitter that City winning the tournament didn't even get enough likes on the Premier League Twitter page than when Leicester won the FA Cup, that kind of thing, because they basically have two top teams.
It was more inevitable.
Exactly. So I mean, look at the team they fielded. They basically changed the whole 10 players for one match, and then they still won. And to me, it was underwhelming, to be honest. And it basically an underwhelming season, which will probably be brought to life by the these top 4 contenders this weekend. So I think easy victory for City, and hopefully next season will not be as straightforward as that. And I hope Chelsea would probably with this their new manager putting 1 or 2 things in place. If he can solve that goal scoring problem, I think Chelsea may be a contender for next season, together with Liverpool and of course the usual Man U and obviously Man City as well.
Okay, so let's go to Ubani.
Yes,
Let's
sir.
come to you. What was your take of the entire season? And if you were asked today who's your player of the season, who would you give it to?
Bruno Fernandes. Not because I'm a Mayan
That's
fan.
for Manchester United, by the way.
Not because I'm a Mayan fan, I'll pick Bruno Fernandes, but I'll pick him because of his overall performances, the way he has taken the team to the height it's at right now. Before Bruno Fernandes came, we're lost in the Premier League. When he came, I don't know how it happened. We got to 3rd position. This season, I even thought we were going to win the league sometime in January after a match against Burnley when we're top. I didn't think Man City would catch up. But if not for Man City's defense, I don't think they will have had anything to do with this season. I feel Man U should have won it from the start of this season. I feel we should have won it because of Fernandes. everything.
Hmm.
I even feel we should have gone far in the Champions League. I feel it's just because our manager isn't right. Our manager isn't right at the moment. I
Oh,
think we need a change
that's a
of manager.
conversation for another day. That's a conversation for another day. Whether only in or only out, that's a conversation for another day. But what would you say has surprised you this season?
For everyone in the Premier League, they were to chase.
You said what? I didn't get that.
I said I feel Man City were too good for the Premier League. They were the team to chase.
And that was a surprise to you.
I would say it was a surprise.
Okay.
'Cause
Okay.
at the
So
beginning of the season, they were bad, really bad.
if you were
Losing
to
5
pick,
Leicester.
which player would you say was your disappointment of the season? Was most disappointing for you?
Most disappointing. Nah, it's a hard one. I'll say Thiago in Liverpool. Thiago there.
I just knew that was what you were going to say. But let's come to Damilare now. Damilare, well, when it comes to prediction, they have shown that they are very proficient. Now, with what has happened this season, the last day of the season is on Sunday. You have 3 teams vying for 2 places: Chelsea, Liverpool, and Leicester City. Who do you think will finish in 3rd and 4th?
I think it's going to be Chelsea third, Liverpool fourth, and then West Ham fifth.
Let's come to Kamikaze. And I'm going to ask you this. Why? Because what kind of effect do you think Leicester losing out of the top 4 will have on the legacy of Brendan Rodgers? Because this has happened back-to-back seasons, that they've occupied Champions League positions almost through the season, and then on the last day, they fall out. Remember, he's just won the FA Cup for Leicester, first time ever in their history. Does that dent his legacy at Leicester City?
Yes, kind of. I've known him when he was a formerly Liverpool coach, and was I'll give him like 10% out of 100 was a failure at Liverpool.
She will agree with you on that one, because Doc always gives him a lot of stick for failing to win the league at Liverpool. So okay, somebody finally agrees with you, Shay. Okay, so from on your side, who would you say has been the best player this season, your player of the season? And in terms of performances, in terms of the teams in the league, which team would you say has surprised you? And I'm saying excluding the guys in the top 6.
Okay. In terms of a team that surprised me, I would call Aston Villa. I know Mr. Abode will be happy to hear that. Aston Villa, I really actually think Aston Villa to be relegated this season. But they really stepped up their game. And player, I have to be biased when it comes to player. I'll say players I can use to Bruno and Cavani, especially Cavani. Cavani, I owe him an apology.
Grown into the team.
I owe him an apology.
Oh, you thought it was a wasted signing for United?
I'm telling you the fact.
Okay, Dami, for you, player of the season, and which team has surprised you?
In terms of the team that surprised me this season, I'll go for West Ham.
Okay, West Ham, yes.
Because,
I probably agree with you because I really don't like
I
David
also
Moyes.
think them
most people think they are going to be fighting for
Relegation.
relegation, and they are here
Yes, that's true.
at the verge of going to Europa League if they get the good results in their final game of the season. And in terms of the player, my
Player of the season,
player of the season, I tend to go with Harry Kane.
Harry Kane. I think I kind of agree with you.
Top assist,
22 goals,
and
top
joint-
assist.
and joint top scorer.
It's not me. Please let's keep your comments coming. Neke GK is saying Bruno Fernandes, not because I'm a Manchester United fan. Ubani, Luriro. It goes again. Manchester City lost more games this season and still had a bit of an easy ride because everyone else was rubbish. And Damn Too Juicy says hi. We say hi to you too, Damn. Please keep your comments coming, especially those on YouTube. I know for those on Twitter and Facebook, you probably can't drop your comments, but keep the comments coming. So I'll come to Atinuke now. So you wrote of Villa, West Ham for relegation. Wow.
I saw West Brom going back immediately.
So West Brom going back immediately.
Yeah, I saw that because at the beginning of the season, on here we have to predict like 5 teams that will be in that relegation zone. I went for West Ham, I went for Villa, I went for West Brom, Fulham, and Brighton.
And Brighton.
Yes. I never expected Sheffield United considering the season they had before.
It's because you haven't heard what they call second season syndrome.
I know I
Which is
felt
real.
like they were going to struggle, but not to the extent of being that
That
horrible,
bad, yeah.
considering how well they did last season. So I think that's one thing, but I think I went for those 5 seasons. Villa, but everybody, I really didn't expect what I'm saying. And I think one thing that really impressed me this season has to be Leeds United. I'm a big fan of Marcelo Bielsa. I've supported him right from the
Babe, I'm beginning to worry about you.
Atletico Bilbao.
Are you
I've
copying
always-
from my book? Because everybody knows I'm a big fan of Marcelo Bielsa.
Right from the days of
do
Bilbao,
Atalanta.
Marcel, everybody knows me that I love. They call Leeds United my third team when it comes to supporting apart from United and Atalanta. So I'm really surprised. I felt like they were not going to go down because of Bielsa effects, but in the top 10, I don't think I envisioned that. They really done a very good job. And they just need to shape up their defense a little bit. Attacking wise, they have no problem. They can score as many goals as they want. They are like Atalanta, they can score. Scoring has never been their problem.
But keeping their bombs shut
there at the back
is the
yeah,
problem.
I think they are really surprised with the West Ham. I don't want to get started on West Ham, but if they said West Ham will not be in relegation soon, I would say no, it's not possible. Because they might struggle to keep them in the season last season.
Yeah.
I think this season has been a shock. It's been boring considering this the title race. Manchester United, I don't want to get because everybody knows I'm not a Ole Gunnar Solskjaer fan. Everybody knows that. Even I'm a Manchester United fan. I'm not his fan. But I felt like January when Manchester United got it over their heads on that title.
Yeah.
And for me, I felt like he underrated Sheffield. That was why they lost that match. I
Mhm.
felt like he underrated. I think that was and it was that match.
That was the turning point.
That was turning point. And City just went on that roll and there was no title race anymore.
Talks, Chelsea fan. Lampard out, and everything has changed. The FA Cup final, Champions League finalists, and now one game away from probably either being in Europa League or having another claim at the Champions League. And I'm not talking about the Champions League final now. But what would you say Tuchel has changed that got Chelsea this far?
I feel Tuchel focus more on the mentality of the team. I think that's what he worked on. But I think he also kept it simple. He had players that could come in and work with the formation he put in play. Basically, what he did was power defense. I think that's what he went for. I think he has seen a team surpass even his own expectations because it's like saying they have materials to play with that basic 5 at the back formation, and it has worked for him. He has surpassed his own expectations. The guys also clicked into gear, and they've even over surpassed their own expectations.
Overachieved.
Yeah, they've overachieved basically. I don't see them falling short
Hmm.
of the Champions League.
Okay, so you Talks expect them to get a result away to Aston Villa, who are actually a very dangerous customer. Damn Too Juicy says Ruben Diaz is his but I don't know if male or female, but he's your player of the season. Well, I beg to differ. talking about Chelsea talks, one player comes to mind, and there was a lot of conversation about him under Frank Lampard, but he's shown that he deserves to be a Chelsea player with his performances, with his output, with the overall performance of it. And that's Mason Mount. Accusations left, right, and center of him being the coach's favorite player, coach's pet, and what have you. But Tuchel has come in, and he's still part and parcel of that team and putting in really good performances. So, how well do you think Mason Mount can get? How good can this boy get? He's young, and I try not to cut into the madness of the British media when it comes to talking about players. But how good do you think this guy can be, especially the way he's kept things going from Lampard to Tuchel?
I think he's been consistent. He had caught on from his low spell in Holland up to Derby. He got his first call up for England as a David Johnson player. Even though he didn't start, I think they got it. The sky's the limit for him. There was a lot of talk about that, but what people don't realize is that he's also first or second on the team sheet for England. Southgate believes him. He just had to do the same thing. And he's giving everybody results. The sky's the limit. You can only get better.
So if we're looking at the young players in England today, Mason Mount, Phil Foden, Jadon Sancho, Bukayo Saka, I don't like calling him English player, Mason Greenwood, Jude Bellingham at Dortmund. Where does he rank? Number one or number two?
Right now, I'll say number one. People will say two
because of Phil Foden.
But I think Foden plays in a more expressive team. I've not seen a Foden man back. I've not seen Foden really press. Foden just flies up. He's a flying winger. That's what we call it. But I've not seen him actually in different setups and formations. I can see Mount playing central midfield, attacking midfield, left wing forward, right wing forward. Even false nine under Lampard last season. But for both of them, they have grounds to break. But for now, I'll rate Mount ahead of Foden.
Mount ahead of Foden. Well, that's coming from a Chelsea fan. I still think that Phil Foden is probably the best young player in England today. And please, this is coming from someone that absolutely hates Manchester City. So, before we get into prediction, Shay, let's go to
sir.
the doctor. Will Liverpool make it into the Champions League on the last day?
Yeah, well, with the momentum, I honestly
enter Europa League because of the things you said about the Europa League in the past. I want
with
Europa League.
Well, I think the table is going to end the way it is right now. Chelsea will go there. Liverpool will follow suit. I think Brendan Rodgers is a nearly man. He's a good man. He suffers from. Oh, he's a near success. He suffers from near success syndrome. Like he's almost, the kind of person you look at as almost there, there's always something missing, And I think with Leicester, he also got it wrong as well. At some point during the season. And for the question on my player of the season has to be Foden, Phil Foden of Man City. I think
that's completely out of the left field, but it's fine.
He's coming leaps and bounds. And I think my team of the season will be two, one negative, one positive. That of Leeds United, I think I've been surprised by them. I saw the first game they played against Liverpool at Anfield, where they gave a very, very good account of themselves. 4-3, and we only won by one, late penalty. And the other team that I've been disappointed in is Arsenal. Like I thought they would give up a good chance. I mean, coming from last season, where towards the end of last season they beat Man City, they beat Chelsea, they beat Liverpool. I thought they were going to carry that momentum into the
You're joining them in trusting the process.
Well, they're falling short of, and with the players they have, you would think that they would do better. Saka will have been what's his name, Aubameyang, and some of these players that they have. I think they could have done better. So that's my. I think Liverpool will make it into the Champions League together with Chelsea.
Okay, now let me ask you this. So, for the AI today, what can we expect from the AI today? Because it's the last game of the season. Everything is on the table. Any potential surprises?
Well, it's just going to follow them. I think this.
If there's one or two surprise
predictions. Well, not really. Today's test is. I think today is going to be the major test. I think for the AI. All the while what we're doing is we've been pitching the AI against one individual. So this is about pitching the AI multiple good, absolutely great, predictors. So we've taken the best of the best individuals, over the course of the season to come and face the AI. So let's see where the AI would rank in the overall ranking. I think this is going to be the true test of, the AI model. And then at the end of this season, one can now write a report on, is a machine actually better at sport than a human being, or the machine would never still take that place of a human man. And then it will of course reinforce that saying that football is no mathematics. Let's see whether football is mathematics or football by individuals.
But the AI has shown through the course of this season that somehow the stats have an advantage, because the AI went on an 11-game winning undefeated streak, and if the AI was only defeated by 5 people, that shows you that somehow collation of stats, data has a huge role to play in whatever it is that we're doing with respect to whatever models we're trying to run, be it in football, be it in sales, be it in whatever projections we're making. It plays an active role. You agree with me?
Oh, absolutely. Without stats, I mean, you can't even begin to do it. You can't even measure what they say. What you can't measure, you can't you can't produce. So I think that is stats will play a very important role. But the only thing that the human has, is that AI doesn't have the flexibility of knowing certain decisions. I mean, for instance, next season, if Harry Kane leaves Tottenham and goes to maybe a Man City or a Man U, AI wouldn't take that into consideration. We don't know that a Tottenham has been. I mean, that's going to be, a major, weakness for Tottenham. I mean, who's going to score their goals? So AI is still going to be looking at those kind of data. But a human being will know that if a Harry Kane goes to Man U, obviously Man U becomes a potential, winner of the EPL next season. AI wouldn't have that kind of, that kind of, we call it oracle. That's an external influence that influences the data.
Brilliant. Let's go to the comments. Nekejiko says, Titi took Chelsea back to the basics, keeping it tight at the back, don't concede, and try to score. Timo's lack of goals have been helped by his running and energy with defending from the front. Are you sure this is Nekejiko typing this? This looks more like something Jeff will write. Our friend Jeffrey Hustle, so-called Syria pundit that follows English football very closely. Other comments from Nekejiko. He says, my surprise of the season is Mason Mount, him being labeled weak, and Lampard's son that has played every game but has stepped it up, player of the season from the youth team to an event now Chelsea FC. He goes further and says, it is clear some teams will be planning their journey to 4-5 leg zones away from Central Europe for their games in Europe next season. Let them get ready for games in Vloskowski and co. Me, I shall want Liverpool to go to Skonto Riga. Skonto Riga, because she has said so many painful things about the Europa League, and I think Liverpool should find themselves playing that competition if you like, be like Jeff that is praying that if Milan doesn't finish fourth, they should just pull out of the Europa League because it's a very, very tough competition to play. If you get to the final of the Europa League, I think, even though nobody remembers who gets to the final, I think you've done a great job, especially if you started from the beginning and you got to the final. Not those that come from Champions League and all that. You start from the beginning and get to the final. I think it's so. Let's get to the nitty-gritty of things. Let's get into the prediction. So this is how we're going to do it. Like you guys are used to. We always start with the AI because the AI is the how do I put it? The leading guy, leading in this race. So we'll go to the AI. So we take one each game, and then I'll ask for everybody's prediction one by one for each game, and I'll also drop my prediction. By the way, I hold the record points on this. I can't get paid, but I hold the record 15 points. Nobody has ever come close to 15 points. Ubani holds the record for participants. So let's get into it. AI.
Yes, sir.
Where are you doing?
Yes, sir.
Arsenal, Brighton. What say you?
Arsenal Brighton 3-1 for Arsenal. They are going to end the season. I mean, Arsenal they tend to play better when there is no pressure.
When there's no pressure.
They're not fighting for anything. They'll go out
They
there.
are fighting for something though. They want to get into the Europa League or maybe the Conference League.
Well, that's not enough pressure. They're not really under that intense pressure. They'll go out there, and this is the kind of game where Arteta will be flatter to deceive and will do one or two things and he'll win and will look as if he's doing something. But at the end of the day, we know when the pressure is on, they won't perform. So AI says 3-1.
Well, the fans will be back at the Emirates Stadium. Maybe that counts for something. Let's go to Atinuke. What says you? Arsenal, Brighton. 2-1 Arsenal. Okay, 2-1 Arsenal. Let's come to my man, Music Kamikaze.
2-0 Arsenal.
Okay. If everybody don't put their head for this period like this. 2-0 Arsenal. Okay, Dami.
3-1 Arsenal.
3-1 Arsenal. He agrees with the AI. Talks.
2-0 Arsenal.
2-0 Arsenal. Yay. Okay. Ubani, are you going to tell us something different?
4-1 Arsenal.
4-1.
Wow,
4-1 Arsenal. Ubani feels that Arsenal will completely go off the brakes. 1-1. I go 1-1. Arsenal 1, Brighton 1.
wow.
See what you want to say about that prediction. Aston Villa, Chelsea. Aston Villa defeated Spurs last time round away from home. That's one team going for a position in Europe. Now they play Chelsea, another team who are trying to finish in the Champions League places. Aston Villa have put paid to a lot of big teams this season. So, AI, Villa, Chelsea, what say you?
Well, Chelsea will win 3-1, so it's going to end 1-3.
3-1. The AI has gone for 3-1 to Chelsea. Chelsea need this to at least guarantee themselves in the Champions League, whether they win the competition or not. Atinuke.
2-1 Chelsea. 2-1 Chelsea.
2-1 Chelsea. That's 1-2 Chelsea. 1-2 Chelsea. 1-2 Chelsea. Chelsea away at Villa Park. Note, the fans will be back at Villa Park, and who knows, maybe that will change something. Kami.
2-0 to Chelsea. Sorry.
2-0 Chelsea. So 0-2. Wow. 0-2 Chelsea. Dami.
1-2 Chelsea.
1-2 Chelsea for Dami. All right. Tokes, what says you? Tokes is a Chelsea fan, by the way, so he's gone for a Chelsea result. Ubani.
So 2-1 to Chelsea.
2-1 to Chelsea. What's going on here? Remember that we are reaching you live from Iskaba, it's KOS Lagos, and Kunsela Road, Ikate, Lekki. So feel free to stop by and watch the best football, great ambience. Euros is just around the corner. So if you're looking for somewhere where you can chill and watch the Euros and have a good time, good drinks, Iskaba is the place to be. I'm going for 2-1 Aston Villa.
Wow.
Aston Villa to win 2-1 against Chelsea, Jack Grealish and Holly Watkins to get the goals. Fulham, Newcastle, still reaching you from Iskaba. A game of inconsequential game. Nothing at play, nothing at stake. Maybe Newcastle trying to move up a position to increase their price tag by I think £500,000. Shay, what says you? Fulham, Newcastle.
Fulham will win 2-1.
Fulham win 2-1. Well, it will be a good opportunity for Fulham to clap their fans away after a tough season. Fulham going back to the championship. We're trying to see if they keep Scott Parker. I think they should. Should be able to bring them out. But then Newcastle, a lot of question marks about that team. Hopefully they can get things right. I've predicted Newcastle to go down. I did that last season. Like this time, I kept my mouth shut because a lot of Newcastle fans came for me. So to look at Fulham, Newcastle.
0-2 Newcastle being
0-2 Newcastle. Like that. Something different. I mean, 1-1. I always fear coming prediction. 1-1. That means 2-2. Okay. Yeah, games like this can be just go up the hinges. Talks. Fulham 1, Newcastle 2. Okay, Ubani, are you there?
2-1 to Fulham.
Fulham 2-1. Okay. Well, I'm going for a 2-2 draw on that one. 2-2 draw. I think both teams are just going to go at it with no inhibitions whatsoever. So, to many neutrals' favorite team this season, Leeds United, Marcelo Bielsa, everybody knows I really like it, even though I don't like Leeds as a team. I support Manchester United, so I wouldn't like Leeds. But I like Marcelo Bielsa and I like the way they play their football. And I'm happy for Leeds because of the nonsense a lot of pundits said about them. Please leave this road to play the football the way they want to play.
Exactly.
Don't criticize, don't overanalyze that team. And they've done well. And they've dealt with a lot of big teams. Even though they may not have won some of them, but they did well. Beat City at home, drew City at Elland Road, gave Liverpool a good run for their money. I think they took Chelsea, drew Manchester United, but United gave them a good hiding at Old Trafford. So, I just hope that next season they won't have a case of second season syndrome. So, Shay, Leeds, West Brom, what say you?
They will round out the season with a 3-1 victory.
3-1 victory for Leeds. I actually think Leeds will pound West Brom 4-1. These boys are going to go mental, and I'm hoping that Patrick Bamford can score a hat-trick. Maybe this is an opportunity for me to finally use my triple captain.
I mean, I'm even open to cap.
I think I'll use my triple captain in EPA on Fantasy League on Patrick Bamford. I'm not using my triple captain.
When we had triple game week,
I'm keeping it for this one. I'm keeping it for this one. What about you? Leeds, West Brom, to look at 3-1 Leeds. Okay, Kami. 2-0 Leeds. Dan Larry. 4-1 Leeds. Folks. 2-0 Leeds. Ubani.
3-1 Leeds.
3-1 Leeds. Okay. This game, Leicester City Spurs. I see goals. I see go. Both teams to score over 2.5. AI, what say you?
I think the pressure will get to Leicester and that they may not be able to.
I just knew that he was going to say that. I think you're going to say that. The pressure will get to Leicester.
I think it will end in a draw.
What's the prediction?
I think it will end in a draw. 1-1.
Score.
1-1.
1-1. Okay, 1-1. Okay, Tinuga 2-2. Kami
2-1 Leicester.
2-1 Leicester. Even though Kami says Brian Rogers is a failure. Damn it.
2-1 Leicester.
2-1 Leicester. Stokes
2-1 Leicester.
2-1 Leicester. Ubani, are you there?
Yeah, 2-1 Leicester.
You too, 2-1 Leicester. Sheyi, Brian Rogers must shame you on this one. He must shame you. So
What are you
Ubani
going for?
says 2-1 Leicester. Okay, 2-1 Leicester. I'm also going, interestingly, I'm going to agree with everybody. I'm going for 2-1 Leicester as well. I think Leicester can win against Spurs. Are terrible under Mr. Ryan Mason.
What is it?
Liverpool,
Oh,
Liverpool Crystal Palace, Anfield. The fans are back. The cup will be singing "You Never Walk Alone." Finally, the atmosphere that we know Anfield to have will return on the final day, and I think this is what can galvanize Liverpool to get to the Champions League. AI, what say you? Liverpool Crystal Palace.
It's a final for Liverpool, and it's going to be 3-1 Liverpool. AIC
3-1 Scousers. Atunuga,
3-0.
3-0 Liverpool. Ami,
2-0 Liverpool.
2-0 Liverpool. Ami,
3-1 Liverpool.
3-1 Liverpool. Stokes,
3-0.
3-0 Liverpool. Ubani,
2-0.
say what?
2-0. 2-0.
2-0 Liverpool. Somehow. I never thought I'd say this, but Liverpool will win 2-1. Please keep the comments coming. We're going to go to the other half, and I can see some of our viewers are dropping their predictions. Yemi is Vladivostok, back end of Russia. Okay, noted. Shay, please check on your map where Liverpool will be going to.
Okay, they only be going there for holiday, not to play.
I just don't know if you're funny. Education says champion Yams. He's gone for Arsenal to win 2-1. He's going for Chelsea to win 3-1. Yeah, I mean, that was a beefy prediction. For which one? For Arsenal? I mean, Arsenal should go and sit down. Okay, he's gone for Leicester 2, Spurs 2. He's also gone for a high scoring game in Leeds, West Bromwich Albion, and he's saying Liverpool will win 3-0 against Crystal Palace. So let's go to the other half of the matches to be played on Sunday for the 3rd May final game of the season. What a long season it's been. And it's champions, Manchester City, taking on Everton, who still have a chance to play in the Europa League if all things go their way. City will obviously make a lot of changes because they have one eye on the Champions League. And then I'm sure the result against Brighton must have really, really messed with Guardiola's thought process. Who knows? And they want to give Aguero a good send forth. So expect Aguero to score. If you don't have Aguero in your fantasy league, maybe you should put him there and triple captain him. Oh god. So AI, Man City, Everton,
Of course, City has got, they're going to cruise 3-1.
3-1.
Yeah.
And then maybe we'll start having that conversation that Ancelotti is a failure. Eswatinuga, 3-1, Manchester City. I know this one I said now, Jeff is going to come for me. Kami,
3-0 Man City.
and for anybody that is watching and heard what I said about Ancelotti, please, he's one of the managers that I love the most. So that's just an inside joke. Tokes understands that joke. Dami,
4-1.
4-1 City. It's going to be a goal party for Manchester City to finally lift another Premier League title. Tokes,
City 2.
City 2, Everton 0. Ubani,
3-1.
3-1 Man City. I'm going for a 3-0 scoreline in favor of Manchester City. One game I would most definitely not be watching: Sheffield United versus Burnley.
Oh my God. I'll be a
I assure you it will be a fest.
office.
Both teams have nothing to play for. Sheffield United are already relegated. Burnley can't go. I don't think they can go beyond where they are. So, yeah, what say you?
AI thinks that Burnley have tuned out. I mean, for the last few games, they lost 4-0 to Leeds and 3-0 to Liverpool. So AI says 2-0 to Sheffield.
2-0 to Sheffield United. It will be a good morale booster looking into the championship uh, campaign next season. It's something to look at. 1-1. Just going for 1-1. Kami. 1-1 as well. Okay. Danny. 2-2. Chris Woods is in the form of his life at the moment. Tokes.
Sheffield won, Burnley 2.
Sheffield 1, Burnley 2. Okay. Ubani.
2-0 to Burnley.
2-0 Burnley.
Yeah.
Okay. He's gone 2-0 Burnley. I've gone 1-1. By the way, West Ham, Southampton. Southampton have been one team that I think fell off. Just the same way Manchester United fell off when they were top of the table, and it's been downhill since then. But somehow they picked up gradually. They started winning games again. I think they put 3 past leads the last time. West Ham, on the other hand, have also shown why it's important to sign well in the January window when they got Jesse Lingard on loan from Manchester United. He scored a ton of goals for them. But West Ham still would like to qualify for Europa. I think they're as good as getting the Europa League performance. And of course, the fans are back at the London Stadium, so that galvanizes them for a good shot at that European place. So, West Ham, Southampton, Shay.
AI says West Ham 3, Southampton 1.
Southampton what?
1.
1, okay. All right. Let's continue. 2-1 West Ham. Okay. 2-0 West Ham, Music Kamikaze. Dami.
3-1 West Ham.
3-1 West Ham. Folks. 2-0 West Ham. You guys don't want to do that for where they did look at. Ubani.
2-1 West Ham.
2-1 West Ham. I'm going to have to agree with Ubani and go for 2-1 West Ham as well. Aha. Wolves, Manchester United. Manchester United have nothing to play for. They have their one eye on the Europa League final on Wednesday against Villarreal. Wolves, I wonder what the reaction would be with the potential departure of Nuno Espirito Santo. Somehow I just always had that feeling towards the end of the season that this guy was on his way out. Maybe it was body language. And then, let me say it now, I think he'll be going to Spurs. Most likely, I think he'll be going to Spurs. I think he's a manager that might, we all know Spurs has spiritual problems. But I think he's a manager that could probably go there and just get them to be just a little bit better. And then what I don't like is that him moving to Spurs might lead to a lot of Wolves players moving to Spurs. And then I'm hoping that it doesn't go to Spurs and make it another Portuguese project.
Let's just want to have a few things. Bring a lot of Portuguese guys.
I hope not, because it becomes a little bit irritating, you're trying to have that model and all that. But he's a really good manager. He's done well for them. They didn't suffer syndrome when they were in the second season. They've done decently well. I think, whether I like it or not, if you lose your top striker in Raul Jimenez and then you sell the other guy, not knowing that you're going to lose your main striker and you still finish where you finish, I think they've had a decent season. It's why having to throw up in an 18, 19-year-old that they bought for £30 million in Flavio Silva, who can deliver goals. You sign a William Jose from Real Sociedad, and he's only scored 1 goal in 10 or something crazy like that. So I think they've had a decent season. But then it'll be interesting to see what next for Wolves. When you've had one manager who's been there for a while and then he leaves. Sometimes, more often than not, it leads to bad shape for the team in question. So, AI, Wolves, Manchester don't like going to Molineux, by the way. What say you?
Well, 0-2 to Man U. They'll continue the away, 0-2.
Okay. Based on United's away form, are we?
Yeah.
0-2. Okay. Saturday. 0-2. Okay. Music Kamikaze.
Goalless draw.
Jesus Christ.
I'm a Man U fan, but
I'm weak. Damn it.
1-1.
1-1. Damn has gone for 1-1. Okay. Talks.
0-2.
You should also say 0-2 to Manchester United. Ubani.
2-1 to United.
1-2 to Manchester United. I think I'm going to have to agree with the lads. I think that game will be a draw as well because United will have one eye on that Europa League final and probably watch out for the likes of Van de Beek, Ahmad Traore, and the rest. Twanzebe, Jones. Okay. So,
a draw. 1-1.
1-2 Manchester United. So, as we always do, let me scan the prediction where there are one or two surprises lined up. I think I'm the one that is surprising myself. I went for 1-1 Arsenal, Brighton, and I went for Villa win. I have to predict that Villa will win so that I can have breathing space in the office. I'm in the studio with Uncle Bode. Let's see, no shock results. I think everybody has gone with one book.
For a Man U.
You said what?
Did you go for a Man U win?
I went for 1-1.
Oh, okay.
1-1. Everybody has gone with the quote and unquote big teams or the form book, more or less. Nobody predicted that Man City will lose. Everybody predicted Arsenal will win, with the exception of my humble self. Everybody went for a Chelsea win, with the exception of myself. Leicester, well, the AI and Tinuke went for a draw for Leicester City. Every other person went for a win. Liverpool, everybody went for a win for Liverpool. West Ham, everybody went for a win for West Ham against Southampton. I think Manchester United Wolves is one that has mixed results, mixed responses. So, Sunday is just around the corner. What is Nike saying again? He said, yeah, that's your Villa win is from Kubodabi. So that when they lose, you don't go enter trouble. My brother, please. The other day I told him that Villa went to Foke Bala against United. I know what my eyes saw. So this one I'm loyal. Fully loyal. So, guys, as we round up.
Just before we round up, so that maybe we should just put some ground rules, just in case the AI will.
Okay, as we normally do.
No, not even that. This is the final season, really. So we want people to win the money actually because it comes with the prize. So just in case the AI wins, if the AI wins this weekend, I would suggest that the bounty be shared amongst the contestants.
The contestants. Okay.
Yes.
So the AI, the man behind the AI has spoken. The bounty, if the AI wins, will be shared. We'll share the points.
But if there is
draw,
if there is a draw, if there's a draw between the contestants, then the two contestants will have to share, the
points.
Bounty. But if there's a draw between the AI and the contestant, then the contestant would go home with everything.
Oh, if somebody draws with the AI, the person still takes the lose.
And if there are two people that draw with the AI, the two people will share the bounty. If there are three people that draw with the AI, they any which way, the money has to be won by a contestant, or 2 or 3.
All right. Thank you very much. So, everybody says thank you here. Tonwa, please, can you move the camera to Music Kamikaze? His friend is online. Robo, your guy is here. Robo, your guy is here. Your guy that you did all kinds of shenanigans with. He's here.
You know what? Robo is just going to say, "Oh, well done, man." That's
And he has called him Uzi.
Yes.
I know what Uzi means. All right, guys. It's been a great season of football across the Premier League. We look forward to the Euros, the Copa America. That will keep some of us busy. Some of us that visit the other side. It will keep some of us busy till the new season starts. It will be interesting to see the kind of transactions that will be done in the off season with the whole COVID financial problem and what have you. It will be interesting to see the player movements that will happen. It will be interesting to see where Harry Kane ends up, because that has to be the biggest. Funny enough, Erling Haaland was supposed to be the big deal. Harry Kane throwing his heart into the transfer market means that is the guy we need to follow.
I think Chelsea should just. I think Chelsea should get him.
I think Chelsea should get him.
Yeah, Chelsea should get him.
What if they want to use
I think they would probably, challenge next season for, because
I hope,
I mean, this is their top goal scorer is Jorginho.
Can you imagine with 7 goals?
All of the penalties. All right, guys.
Thank you very much for joining us on Football and AI. Everybody that's joined us all through this season. Those of us here are going to try to have a good time. Thanks to Dr. Olu. And hopefully next season we'll have to run another good season from week 1 to 30th, and then have another season finale. And then we'll also probably crown new winners. Final comment from our man NKGK says, "Thanks a lot, Doc. Ubani, nice one, bro. The famous Music Kamikaze. I think people know you. Twale, sir. Look, I cite you. Nice show. Big game. I want to lose weight. So you will stop calling me Big game. I came to Manchester City. No one play London. No one play for London club. Well, we have to wait. Thank you, everybody, for your support, the messages, the feedback. Thank you very much. Until we see you next season. Bye for now.
Thank you, guys. Thanks.